Some games slip under the radar, and it's a shame because they're actually amazing. Today, we're looking at some of the most underrated single-player games you'll wish you had played sooner. These are hidden gems with great stories, awesome gameplay, and moments that stick with you. Games that deserved way more attention than they got. If you love discovering stuff you missed, this list is going to be a treat.
Yes, Washington will have enough time to search, but this girl's gonna suffer. Damn it, what should I do?
Sleeping Dogs.
Wait, you okay, man? You look like someone took a shit on your face.
At first glance, people thought it was just another GTA-style open-world game, but it's way more than that. You step into the shoes of Wei Shen, a Hong Kong cop going undercover in the Triads. The combat in this game is insane. It's like the perfect mix of classic beat-em-up and modern fighting mechanics. You're punching, kicking, flipping over bad guys, grabbing objects off the environment, tables, chairs, even traffic signs, and throwing them around. It's satisfying in a way that a lot of open-world combat systems just can't touch. You don't even feel like you're grinding, because every fight feels unique depending on the situation and where you are. Add the martial arts flair to it, and suddenly you're not just fighting, you're performing, and it's ridiculously fun. And then there's the driving, which is smooth and actually enjoyable, not just a chore to get from point A to point B. Whether you're weaving through the neon-lit streets, chasing a criminal through traffic, or escaping a gang fight, the city feels alive and dangerous at the same time. Speaking of the city, Hong Kong in this game is just magical. It's packed with life. Markets, street food stalls, neon signs, crowded alleys, and random pedestrians that make it feel like a real city. The game doesn't just dump you in an empty playground. There's stuff happening everywhere. Side missions like street racing, boxing, gambling, and even karaoke add flavor and make the world feel lived in. And it's not just fluff. Some of these little activities tie back into the story or character development, which is rare for open-world games. You feel like you're really part of the city, and that immersion just keeps you hooked. Another thing that's crazy is how cinematic the game feels. The cutscenes, the voice acting, the way Wei reacts to things, it all hits hard.
Well,
Wait. I know you.
Yes, Sifu. I used to be your student. I'm Wei Shen.
You're not just watching a story unfold, you're living it. And the characters, especially Wei, are fully voiced and believable. He's not a perfect hero. He makes mistakes, he doubts himself, and he has moments of humor and vulnerability. That makes you connect with him in a way most open-world protagonists can't pull off. Even today, Sleeping Dogs holds up. The graphics might not be next-gen, but if you crank up the settings, the city glows, the fights feel fluid, and the overall atmosphere is unmatched. People who missed this game seriously missed out, because it's one of those experiences you remember. It's not just a game, it's a ride through a city full of life, danger, and heart, and it's easy to get completely lost in it. Honestly, Sleeping Dogs is one of those underrated gems that everyone should play at least once. You're not just playing for fun fights or driving around, you're playing for the story, the characters, the city, and the vibe that's impossible to replicate. It's one of those games where you finish it and just sit there for a minute, thinking about everything that happened and wishing you had started it sooner.
What's going on? Oh, holy shite!
The Saboteur. Now, this is a game that's like a secret little thrill ride that not enough people played. Right from the start, it throws you into this crazy, dangerous world during World War II in Nazi-occupied Paris. You play as Sean Devlin, an Irish race car driver who suddenly finds himself on a mission for revenge and freedom after personal tragedy hits him. And man, the story hits way harder than you'd expect for a game like this. Sean's not some perfect soldier or superhero. He's angry, clever, and a little reckless. You can feel his emotions in the way he talks, the way he moves, and even in the little moments between the big missions. It's not all heavy drama either. There's a lot of swagger in his attitude that makes him fun to follow around, so you're invested in what he's doing from minute one. One of the coolest things about the Saboteur is how it handles Paris. The city is huge, open, and totally alive, but it's not just some pretty backdrop. Here's the twist. When you're in a Nazi-controlled district, everything is gray, dull, and oppressive. But when you take down Nazi towers, sabotage radio posts, or complete missions, the color slowly comes back to the area. Streets brighten, people smile, and it feels like your actions actually matter. It's such a simple mechanic, but it makes the world feel alive and gives this constant sense of progress. You're literally turning the city from a sad, controlled place into a vibrant, living one, and that hits in a way most games don't. The gameplay is a crazy mix of stealth, action, and driving. You can sneak around, climb buildings, and assassinate Nazis silently, or you can go full-on guns blazing chaos if you want. Sean's parkour is smooth and satisfying. You can scale walls, leap across rooftops, and just generally move through the city in a way that feels awesome. And when you combine that with the explosive sabotage missions, it's ridiculously fun. You get to plant bombs, blow up Nazi convoys, and watch the chaos unfold from the rooftops. And speaking of rooftops, the view in Paris is stunning. You can see the Eiffel Tower, Montmartre, and all these iconic landmarks, and it really sells the feeling of being in an occupied city during wartime. Driving in this game is also super fun. Sean's car and motorcycle feel fast and responsive, and chasing down enemies or escaping patrols is exciting without ever feeling frustrating. The missions are varied too. Sometimes you're racing against time, sometimes sneaking through enemy territory, sometimes blowing stuff up in grand style. And that keeps the game feeling fresh the whole way through. And here's the thing that really makes it stick: the tone and style of the Saboteur. It's gritty, stylish, and cinematic without being cheesy. The music, the sound effects, even the way people react to you all add this layer of immersion.
What's taking so long? Open this damn door!
When you're on rooftops or in open combat, it feels epic. It's one of those games where the world reacts to what you do, and that makes every action feel meaningful.
I just need to reach the mine, and I'll be fine.
Eriksholm, The Stolen Dream. The Stolen Dream is one of those recent games that just came out of nowhere, and it proves you don't need a huge budget or a famous name to make something incredible. It's a super smooth and absolutely amazing stealth adventure game that will grab you and not let go. The first thing you'll notice is that it's an isometric game. That just means the camera is angled from way up high, looking down on the world like you're playing with tiny, super detailed characters in a living toy city. This view isn't just for show though. It lets you see the whole area so you can peek around corners, plan your moves, and figure out the best way to get past a bunch of bad guys without being seen. It feels like you're a master chess player, always thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead. You get to play as this regular girl named Hannah, but she's anything but ordinary. Her brother, Herman, is a fugitive on the run, and it's up to her to find him and get to the bottom of what's really going on. The story is a super cool mystery that gets deeper the more you play. It's not just about finding her brother, it's about uncovering a huge secret that's tied to the whole city. That's where the Stolen Dream part of the title comes from, and it's a really neat idea. The gameplay is where this game truly shines. It's all about being clever and sneaky. You can't just run in and fight. You have to hide in the shadows, climb buildings, and use the environment to your advantage. You can even throw objects to make noise and distract guards so you can slip right by them. The controls feel so perfect, making it really satisfying to pull off a perfect, silent escape. It feels like a challenging puzzle mixed with a high-stakes adventure.
Aren't the workers gone? What's that now? I said I thought the workers had left. I can't hear you!
The city of Eriksholm is a character all on its own, with a beautiful hand-drawn art style that makes every street and building feel real and full of secrets. This game is a total hidden gem, and it deserves way more love than it's getting. If you're looking for an unforgettable single-player adventure that makes you think, this is one you'll wish you had played the moment it came out.
I'm asking you, why did the conveyor belt stop? And why haven't you reported it?
But we were just about to.
Yeah, this just happened. If we don't catch her, it's because of fools like you.
Don't tell them, Princess. They'll sabotage the whole freaking mission.
It just came out of nowhere.
Don't do it. You'll only make things way worse.
Well, it took me a minute to search my memory files, but boom! What do you know? It was right there all along.
Telltale's Tales from the Borderlands. Now this one is a wild ride that's way funnier and smarter than most people give it credit for. This game is a perfect mix of story, characters, and absurd humor, all wrapped in the chaotic world of Borderlands. You're not running around shooting everything this time. Instead, it's all about the story and the choices you make, and honestly, the writing is some of the best Telltale ever did. You play as two main characters, Ryse, a wannabe corporate guy with big dreams and even bigger insecurities, and Fiona, a quick-witted con artist who knows how to survive in the roughest situations. Watching them clash, team up, argue, and just try to survive is hilarious and strangely heartwarming at the same time.
3, 2, 1, go!
So then, why are the alarms still going?
They're not perfect, they're kind of ridiculous, and that's exactly why you end up rooting for them. The story in Tales from the Borderlands is ridiculous in the best way. You're thrown into insane situations like chasing down Hyperion secrets, conning bandits, and accidentally stumbling into life or death scenarios. But every moment is packed with humor, and the dialogue is sharp, snappy, and full of personality. Unlike a lot of games where characters just exist to move the plot, Ryse and Fiona actually feel like people you'd hang out with, even if they're a little messed up. And the way the story branches depending on your choices makes you feel like you're really shaping how things go, even if the game does it in that classic Telltale style. One of the things that makes this game shine is how it blends comedy with real stakes. You're laughing at Ryse's ridiculous corporate plans one minute, and then suddenly the stakes are high, and you're actually worried about whether someone's going to survive. It's a crazy balancing act, but the game pulls it off perfectly. And the world itself feels alive too. Even though it's a story-driven adventure, the Borderlands setting is full of life, wacky characters, weird monsters, and all the chaos you'd expect from Pandora. It never feels boring, and it keeps you guessing what's going to happen next. The visuals are classic Borderlands style, cel-shaded, vibrant, and full of detail that makes every scene pop. And the voice acting is top-notch. Troy Baker as Ryse and Damian Clark as Handsome Jack are absolute standouts, bringing so much personality and emotion to every line. You can tell the actors are having fun, and it makes the whole experience that much more engaging. Every conversation feels alive, every joke lands, and every tense moment hits just right. Even though it's technically an adventure game with Telltale's signature point-and-click style, it never feels slow or boring. The pacing is great, the chapters move quickly, and the cliffhangers at the end of each episode make you want to keep going. And unlike other Telltale games that can feel kind of generic, Tales from the Borderlands has this spark that makes it feel fresh, funny, and genuinely exciting. Honestly, this is one of those games that's easy to miss because it doesn't have flashy combat or massive open-world exploration, but it's pure gold if you care about story, characters, and laughs. It's clever, funny, emotional, and it's got that perfect mix of absurd Borderlands chaos with genuinely human moments. People sleep on it, but once you play it, you can't forget Ryse, Fiona, and all the ridiculous stuff that happens on Pandora. It's a hidden gem that makes you laugh, care, and sometimes just sit back and say, wow, that was actually really smart storytelling.
Hell yeah! This here's some of Rock's tastiest cream!
Road 96.
You're not the talkative type, are you, young blood?
What'd you say? Ha! Just kidding.
Now, this one is a totally different vibe, but it's just as addictive in its own way. From the moment you start, you know you're in for a journey, literally and emotionally. This game is all about escaping a country on the edge of chaos, and every time you hit the road, it feels like you're actually running from something bigger than yourself. You don't have big explosions or crazy combat, but the story is tense, emotional, and constantly surprising. It's like each little choice you make actually matters, and that keeps you glued to the game. You're not just driving down a road, you're making decisions that shape the lives of the people you meet, the country you're escaping from, and even your own story. The gameplay is deceptively simple. You hop from one car ride to the next, talk to people, make choices, and sneak past obstacles. But the simplicity is what makes it so powerful. Every interaction has weight. A single conversation with a stranger can change the entire path of your journey, and you never really know how things will turn out. The characters you meet are memorable, even if you only spend a short time with them. They have their own stories, quirks, and personalities, and it's easy to feel connected to them. You start the game thinking it's just a road trip, but it quickly becomes something deeper. You're invested in the people, the country, and the hope of making it to freedom. The art style is simple but effective, with bright colors in the open areas and darker tones when things get tense, which really sells the vibe of this collapsing country. And the story, man, the story is what sticks with you. It's about hope, survival, and rebellion, but it's also personal. You feel like your choices actually matter, and the way the game loops these stories together is genius. You can replay it and see completely different outcomes, which makes it feel like every decision actually counts. Honestly, Road 96 is one of those underrated games that sneaks under the radar but leaves a lasting impression. It's not flashy, it doesn't have giant battles or insane action, but it hits emotionally in a way that a lot of big-budget games can't. It's one of those hidden gems you wish more people played because it's a journey you won't forget.
Anna was training to be a veterinarian when the war broke out. The Germans were only 20 miles from Paris when she received a letter from her father.
Valiant Hearts: The Great War. This game sneaks up on you. You think you're just playing some war game, but it's really about people. Like, you're following this bunch of characters: Emil, Carl, Freddy, Anna, and even this little dog, Walt. And the crazy thing is, you actually start to care about all of them. They feel like real people, not just game characters. The way their lives get tangled together in the middle of World War I is heavy, but in a way that sticks with you. It's not over-the-top drama, it's just life being hard, choices being tough, and people trying to survive and protect each other. The gameplay is kinda chill too. It's mostly puzzles, sneaking around, and exploring, but it all makes sense in the story. You're not solving random stuff just for fun. Like, you move boxes to block guards, sneak past enemies, or figure out ways to save your friends. And it's not easy, but it never feels frustrating. It's the kind of game where you stop and go, oh man, I feel for these people. Even little things like Walt running ahead and helping out just hit you in the heart. That dog is basically a tiny hero, and you can't help but smile when he does something clever. The art style is gorgeous too, like a moving comic book. The colors, the little animations, the details, it all pulls you in. But don't let the pretty look fool you. The game doesn't shy away from how brutal war was. You see the destruction, the sadness, and the fear, and it actually makes the quiet moments with the characters feel even stronger. And the music, man, the music knows exactly when to hit. Emotional, haunting, a little hopeful sometimes. It's perfect for what's happening on screen.
The Germans held their position. The mission was a failure.
What really makes it stick though is the story. You're not just fighting battles, you're living the story of ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. It's about love, friendship, survival, and even tiny acts of kindness. You get little glimpses of history woven in too, which makes it feel smart and meaningful. And when you finish, you just sit there thinking about the people you've met, the tough choices, and the little victories along the way. It's not flashy, it's not a bombastic action game, but it's the kind of game that leaves a mark on you.
The German army was about to experiment with a new weapon near Ypres, Anna's hometown.
It's a retractable bridge. They used them at the prison I was in.
Too bad the controls are on the other side of the giant chasm.
What are you? Do not have time to dawdle in this jungle. I shall hurl the creature over the chasm so he may activate the bridge.
I may activate a hole through your face!
Guardians of the Galaxy. This game is an absolute blast, and honestly, it's one of those games you play and just can't stop smiling. From the moment you step into the shoes of Star-Lord, you're thrown right into this chaotic, hilarious, and surprisingly emotional adventure through space. And what makes it so good isn't just the flashy action or the flashy visuals, it's the characters. You're not just controlling Star-Lord, you're hanging out with a whole squad of misfits, each with their own insane personalities. Rocket's sarcastic and snarky, Groot's adorable and somehow wise, Gamora's intense but secretly soft, and Drax, well, Drax is pure unfiltered honesty that cracks you up non-stop.
Peter Quill. Peter Quill, wake up.
Holy crap, Drax. You gotta stop doing this, man. It's weird.
The betrayer is ready to begin her mission. She has requested your presence in the cockpit.
Gamora's on our side, Drax.
She is the spawn of my sworn enemy, a murderess and a traitor. I do not trust her.
The way they all bounce off each other feels real, like they could have been your friends if you hung out with them in space. The story is solid too. It's full of twists, big emotional beats, and those smaller, quieter moments where the characters just talk, argue, or joke around, and you actually care about what's happening. It's fun, it's dramatic, it's silly, and somehow it hits you right in the heart sometimes. The game doesn't just rely on explosions and space battles to keep you hooked. It's about the crew, their friendships, and how they grow together while trying to save the galaxy. And Star-Lord's dialogue choices? They're really satisfying. They don't just change the story slightly, they shape his relationships with the rest of the crew in ways that feel meaningful. You can be funny, serious, or sarcastic, and the crew reacts differently depending on what you say. It's such a small detail, but it makes the whole game feel alive. And the combat? Man, it's slick. You've got Star-Lord's blasters, your team's powers, and these over-the-top cinematic moments where you can coordinate attacks with your squad. It's not about button mashing. You have to think a little, choose when to use abilities, and watch the team work together. It feels like you're actually leading a group of superheroes, not just blasting things in solo mode. And the environments are gorgeous. Planets, space stations, and alien cities are all vibrant, full of life, and packed with tiny details that make the world feel huge and real. What really sets this game apart, though, is the tone. It's funny, loud, and chaotic when it needs to be, but it also knows when to slow down and hit you emotionally. You laugh, you root for the crew, and sometimes you even feel genuinely tense or sad. And the soundtrack is just perfect. Every song fits the moment so well, from action sequences to quiet, emotional beats, and it's just pure fun hearing Star-Lord hum along while blasting through space. Honestly, Guardians of the Galaxy 2021 is one of those underrated story-driven games that hits all the right notes. It's cinematic, hilarious, emotional, and the characters are just magnetic. You don't just play the game, you hang out with these misfits, laugh at their antics, get invested in their problems, and ride along on this epic space adventure. It's one of those experiences that makes you wish every single-player game had this much personality and heart.
Don't worry about little old me. I feel simply fabulous.
Come on!
Eternal!
You're a dead little girl! I got you!
No, let go of me! No, stop!
Did you see that? She nearly killed me!
Beyond Two Souls. Now, this one is a trip, and it's one of those games that really sticks with you long after you put the controller down. From the start, you're thrown into the life of Jodie Holmes, a young woman who's connected to this mysterious invisible entity named Aiden. And honestly, the game is all about her story, her struggles, her choices, her pain, and her moments of joy. Jodie isn't perfect, she's complicated, and you feel every bit of it as you move through her life. The story jumps around in time, which can be a little confusing at first, but it actually works really well because you slowly piece together her life, her relationships, and the secrets surrounding Aiden. The gameplay isn't your typical action-packed grind. It's more about exploration, making choices, and interacting with the world in meaningful ways. Sometimes you're sneaking around, other times you're in tense situations where Aiden's powers can help you or get you into more trouble. The cool thing is, Aiden isn't just a gimmick. He's like an extension of Jodie. You feel connected to him, and the way you use his powers can totally change how situations play out. And the game doesn't hold your hand. Some moments are intense and emotional, and it's easy to get sucked in because the stakes feel real. Visually, the game still holds up well. The environment, the character models, even the subtle animations like Jodie's reactions or Aiden floating silently nearby all add to the immersion. The game knows when to slow down and let you feel the moment, and when to ramp up the tension and action. And the music ties it all together. It's haunting, emotional, and perfectly timed to the story beats.
Jody! My God. Are you all right? Good God, what happened?
I just wanted to go out and just be like everyone else for once.
Oh, I know. William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
Call of Juarez, Gunslinger. Now, this one is pure old-school Western fun with a twist. The game begins with you stepping into the shoes of Silas Greaves, a bounty hunter with a story to tell. And it doesn't take long before you realize this isn't just some straightforward Western tale. The way the story is told is actually the coolest part. It's all framed as Silas recounting his life to a bartender. And the twist is he's exaggerating, forgetting, or outright lying at times. That makes every duel, every heist, and every chase feel alive and unpredictable because you're never 100% sure what's true. It's like a cowboy version of storytelling where the legend grows bigger the more he talks. Combat in this game is slick and satisfying. You've got classic Western guns, revolvers, rifles, shotguns, and the shooting mechanics are tight and responsive. But the real fun comes from the duels. They're tense, cinematic, and full of style points. The game even has a skill system where you can improve your shooting and reflexes, and it's all presented in this fast-paced, almost arcade-like way that keeps you hooked. The way the game blends quick-draw duels with exploration and chasing down outlaws keeps the pacing perfect. You're never bored, and the action always feels rewarding.
And that you killed him. In a fair fight.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful said?
The environments are gorgeous for a Western game. Dusty towns, sun-baked deserts, mountain passes, and hidden hideouts all feel alive. The art style leans a little stylized, which gives it a unique charm instead of just trying to be realistic. You can almost feel the wind in the canyons or the heat radiating off the streets. And the little storytelling touches like campfire flashbacks or sketches of characters appearing as you tell the story add this extra layer of personality that's rare in shooter games. The story itself is surprisingly strong. Silas isn't just a tough bounty hunter, he's human. You see his ambition, his flaws, his humor, and even his regrets. The way he interacts with historical Wild West legends, whether he's exaggerating or not, is hilarious and fun. Every chapter is like a wild ride through the myths of the Old West, and it feels like the game is winking at you the whole time, saying, yeah, this might be true, or maybe not. Honestly, Call of Juarez Gunslinger is one of those underrated games that hits the sweet spot of story, action, and personality. It's fast, fun, and full of charm, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. You get the thrill of duels, the excitement of hunting down outlaws, and a narrative that's more playful and inventive than most shooters. People sleep on this one, but it's pure Western gold, and once you play it, you can't help but appreciate the mix of humor, action, and storytelling that makes it stand out from the crowd.
Just to shut her up. Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
You got us a hero. Put some holes in them!
I just need 10 minutes.
But if my vision is true, there are two men nearby discussing very important issues, and one of them looks much like Mortimer. Washington is very kind, but I came to this island for my mother, not for his ghost stories.
The Council is a narrative-driven adventure game with RPG elements. You play as Louis de Rocher, a guy drawn into a secret society of super rich, powerful people in the late 18th century. The basic premise is that Louis is searching for his missing mother, but the story quickly pulls you into a web of politics, secrets, and conspiracies. You're not just sneaking around or shooting people. Most of the game is about dialogue, exploration, and making choices that actually matter. Gameplay is mostly about investigating the mansion and interacting with characters. You'll talk to everyone you meet, but it's not just small talk. You have a skill system that affects conversations, things like charm, intimidation, or psychoanalysis. Choosing the right approach can get you info, make allies, or backfire in hilarious or dangerous ways. You also look for clues, letters, hidden objects, or odd details in the environment. Finding these can completely change your understanding of a situation. The goal is to navigate this twisted, high-stakes world without getting manipulated or outsmarted. You're constantly deciding who to trust, who to confront, and how to handle delicate situations. Some chapters are tense and brainy, while others let you explore rooms and poke around at your own pace. The mansion itself is part of the gameplay, creepy, elegant, and full of secrets. What makes the game interesting is how it blends story, choice, and investigation. Every conversation can shift a story, every skill you pick can open or close options, and every clue you find can change how you approach the next challenge. It's not about action, it's about thinking, exploring, and figuring out the complicated social puzzle the game throws at you.
Alright, in my vision yesterday I saw that Mother had this room before me. I'd better search the room. Who knows? Maybe she left me something behind.
Does this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin the murderer. I want to see what he's left in your safe.
Impossible. I cannot betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, Reforged. Alright, let me tell you about a game that is a total masterpiece and a true classic that's been brought back to life. Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars Reforged is a brand new, updated version of a legendary adventure game from way back in the day. A lot of people might have missed the original, and now this new version is out to show everyone just how incredible this game is. This game is all about a huge mystery. You get to play as a cool American guy named George Stobart. He's on vacation in Paris when he sees a famous cafe get blown up by a bomb. That one crazy event sends him on a wild adventure with a brave French journalist named Nico Collard. They team up to figure out who's behind the bombing, and it turns out it's all connected to this ancient secret society called the Knights Templar. The story is like a super good movie, full of twists, turns, and suspense that will keep you guessing all the way to the end. The way you play this game is different from a lot of others. It's a point-and-click adventure, which means you don't run around and fight. You use your brain. You click on things, talk to people to get clues, and figure out how to use the items you find to solve tricky puzzles. The puzzles are really clever and will make you feel smart when you finally solve them. It's all about thinking, exploring, and putting the pieces of the mystery together. The art style is what really makes it stand out. It looks just like a beautiful hand-drawn cartoon movie, and all the characters have so much personality. The game takes you on a grand adventure all over the world, from the streets of Paris to ancient ruins in Syria. The dialogue is hilarious and sometimes really serious, and it all comes together to create a world that feels so alive. This reforged version looks amazing, with new visuals that make the classic art even better. If you love a good story and a challenging mystery, this game is a must-play.
Do you know Sean Fitzgerald?
Yes, I do. What do you want with him?
I want to talk to him about working at the dig. What makes you think he did? The boy outside told me.
I can't imagine anyone employing Sean Fitzgerald on a dig. He wouldn't know a post hole from his elbow.
Well, hello there, stranger. Whew. You're a real bright and shiny one, aren't you?
Before your eyes. Alright, get ready for a game that is completely different from anything you've ever played. Before Your Eyes is one of those games that you'll hear about later and be like, whoa, how did I miss that? It's not a normal game at all. It's a powerful and super emotional story that you play in a way you'd never expect. The biggest thing that makes this game so unique is how you play it. The game uses a camera to track your eyes, and you actually play by blinking. Seriously, the whole game moves forward when you blink. You are reliving the memories of a soul that's on its way to the afterlife, and every time you blink, you move on to the next memory. It's like you're watching a person's entire life flash before your eyes, and your own blinking is what makes it happen. This is a crazy new way to tell a story, and it feels so personal and real. The story itself is incredibly beautiful and sad. You're on a boat with this wise old man who is a kind of guide for souls. He's listening to your memories so he can decide if your soul is worthy. You start at the very beginning, seeing moments from your childhood, and as you blink, you jump through time, seeing all the important moments in a person's life, the good times and the bad times.
Don't answer that, Ben. You can talk to your friend after you practice.
It's a game that will really make you feel a lot of things. It's all about the little moments that make up a whole life. Even though it's a short game, it's a really powerful journey that will stick with you for a long time. The art is simple but beautiful, and the music makes the whole thing feel even more emotional. It's a hidden gem because it's so different from a regular video game, and a lot of people probably skipped it because of that. But it's an experience, not just a game. It's one of those amazing games you'll be really glad you finally got to play.
Richard, tell your son to turn the lights off.
Benny! Mom says turn the lights off.
Not Mom says, you say.
Benny.
Wow. Didn't think you'd actually pick up.
That's no problem.
Angela!
Hey, Kendra,
that's no problem.
how'd you get in here?
Well, all supervisors have access to their employees' apartments, just in case. Why didn't you open the door? I thought something happened to you.
I was going to, but you were faster.
American Arcadia. American Arcadia is a total hidden gem, and it's a newer game that more people should have played. It's got a super clever story and 2 different kinds of gameplay all in one. The whole game is based on this crazy reality TV show that's a lot more twisted than you think. You play as a guy named Trevor who is a simple person living his life in a perfect-looking city. But what he doesn't know is that his whole life is actually a TV show called American Arcadia, and millions of people are watching his every move. And get this, if the audience gets bored with him, they vote him off the show, which means he gets removed or worse. The story kicks off when a producer named Angela decides to help Trevor escape after she realizes how messed up the show is. What makes this game so awesome is how you play it. There are 2 parts. When you are Trevor, it's a 2.5D side-scroller. You have to run, jump, and hide from guards as you try to escape the fake city. It feels like a cool action-adventure game. But then, you also play as Angela in a first-person view. You're in a control room and you have to solve puzzles to help Trevor. You can move cameras, turn off lights, and open doors for him so he can get through different areas without being caught. The whole game has this amazing style that looks like an old TV show mixed with a modern thriller. The story is so gripping and you'll be on the edge of your seat trying to help Trevor. This game is a true hidden gem because its story is so original, and the way it mixes 2 different types of gameplay is something you don't see very often. It's an unforgettable game that you'll be super glad you finally played.
Say, isn't that...
Nah, doesn't fit the description. That guy looks like Steven Spielberg.
Until then. I gotta tell you, this game is a perfect example of a new release that's a total hidden gem. A lot of people probably haven't even heard of it, which is a huge shame, because it's a super unique and deeply emotional story that's unlike anything else. Until Then mixes the chill, everyday life of a teenager with a really cool and mysterious adventure that will keep you thinking long after you're done playing it. The game puts you in the shoes of a high school kid named Mark, and you get to live his life just as it is. You go to school, hang out with your friends, and deal with all the normal stuff. But the coolest part is how it all feels so real. You have a phone you can use to text your friends, and you'll get actual messages from them talking about homework or what they're doing later. You can check out social media and see news feeds that give you hints about what's going on in the world. This makes the game feel incredibly connected and modern. It's not just a story you're watching, it's a life you're living. You get to experience all the little moments that make high school what it is, like sharing a snack with a friend or just walking home after a long day. But here's where the game gets really interesting. While you're living this normal life, weird things start to happen. The game is set after some huge disaster, and the world itself starts to break down. You might be in a room and suddenly the background gets all blurry, or a person's face looks weird and distorted for a second. These strange glitches in reality and people's memories start to happen more and more often, and you have to figure out why. The story does an amazing job of balancing this regular slice of life story with a deep, suspenseful mystery that will keep you totally hooked. The art style is another thing that makes this game so special. It's a beautiful pixel art style that is super detailed and full of amazing colors that make everything feel so alive. It's one of those special games you'll be so glad you experienced, and it's a total must-play. Ryse, Son of Rome. Now, this one's like stepping straight into a movie where you're the star, but also a soldier who keeps getting slapped by history. Right off the bat, you're in the middle of chaos. Rome is burning, and you're Marius, a guy who loses his family and suddenly has the entire empire breathing down his neck. And the game doesn't waste time. It's all cinematic from the jump. I mean, it literally feels like watching a movie you can control. The cutscenes blend right into gameplay so smoothly that you barely notice when you're watching or when you're swinging a gladius through a dozen enemies. Combat is ridiculous, in that perfect, I feel like a badass but also barely surviving kind of way. You're slicing, parrying, countering, and it's all tied to this rhythm thing that makes you feel like you're really in the fight. One moment you're taking down a centurion with a perfect strike, the next you're knee-deep in enemies trying not to get stomped. And somehow it feels cinematic without ever feeling scripted. And the executions, man, they're brutal and flashy, but in a way that feels earned. You don't just mash buttons, timing actually matters, and when it works, it feels amazing. The story is kind of simple on paper, a revenge tale, but the way it's told makes it stick. You see Marius grow, you feel his rage, his grief, and the game makes you live it with him. And the voice acting plus facial animations, yeah, they do a solid job selling every punch, scream, or shout for vengeance. The side stuff, like battling in arenas or leading troops, adds a little variety, but the real joy is in those big cinematic battles where you feel like the Roman Empire is literally in your hands. Visually, it's stunning. The textures, the scale of the battles, the environments, the sheer number of enemies, it all looks insane for the time, and it still holds up pretty well. Rome feels massive, alive, and oppressive when it needs to be. You're never just walking through a corridor, you're marching through history, and it hits in a visceral way. The music drives that too. It's huge, orchestral, epic, and it makes even small encounters feel like part of some grand epic. Honestly, Ryse, Son of Rome isn't subtle, and it doesn't try to be. It's loud, cinematic, brutal, and straight up satisfying. Some people knock it for being linear, but that's the charm. It's a game that knows it's a spectacle, and it leans into that fully. You feel like a Roman soldier, a hero, a survivor, and a man on a quest for revenge all at once. It's flashy, emotional, and completely immersive if you just let it take over.
Go, Marius! I'll hold them off until the ship is clear. No! You have to go! You must live! The Senate will listen to you. You're a commander, they have to.
Nah.
Yeah.
Judgment. Now this one is a trip. You're not playing a traditional Yakuza game, even though it kind of feels like it at first. You're Kiryu's spiritual cousin. I mean, well, not literally, but the vibes are there. Instead, you play Takayuki Yagami, a lawyer turned detective who's trying to solve this string of brutal murders in Kamurocho. And immediately, you get thrown into this world where the city is alive, chaotic, and kinda scary if you think about it too much. Neon lights, shady alleys, people arguing, gangsters lurking, it's all happening around you, and you're trying to make sense of it. The thing I love about Judgment is how it mixes detective work with full-on chaos. You're tailing suspects, interrogating witnesses, piecing together evidence, and then boom, you're in a fight in the middle of the street with 5 guys trying to deck you. It's ridiculous, it's cinematic, and it works so well. And Yagami's got this cool edge. He's sarcastic, a little hot-headed, but also smart enough to figure out the crazy stuff happening around him. Watching him navigate these situations is half the fun. The story itself is dark, but never boring. It's got murders, lies, shady cops, and twisted criminals, but it's also human. The victims, the suspects, even the side characters, they all have their quirks, their secrets, and sometimes their heartbreaking moments. You start caring about people you wouldn't expect, and the game knows how to hit you with tension and emotional beats without slowing down the pacing. Combat is solid too. Yagami can switch between fighting styles on the fly and it feels smooth and satisfying. One second you're throwing punches like a brawler, the next you're flipping into acrobatic moves to take down a bigger guy. And the heat actions, man, they never get old. They're flashy, brutal, and feel earned every time. And Kamurocho itself, it's alive. Shops, karaoke, arcades, random conversations. You can spend hours just wandering around and soaking it all in. Side quests are wild too, sometimes ridiculous, sometimes touching, and they make the city feel lived in. It's like a playground full of stories happening at the same time as your main case.
I am looking for a female officer who arrived yesterday with a gunshot wound.
You need to be a little more specific, honey.
Her name is Lewis. She is in a coma.
RoboCop, Rogue City. Now, this is a weird little mix of nostalgia and chaos that somehow works. You step into the shiny metal boots of RoboCop, Detroit's walking, talking justice machine, and immediately it feels like you're living in that gritty, rainy, crime-ridden city straight out of the 80s movies, but updated, like someone actually gave RoboCop a modern playground. The game leans hard into that classic vibe, loud sirens, neon lights reflecting off wet streets, and mobs of criminals thinking they can mess with you. Spoiler, they can't. Combat is satisfyingly brutal. You're not just shooting, you're doing RoboCop stuff, landing heavy hits, using your targeting systems, and watching criminals crumble like paper. And the thing is, it's not all mindless. Timing matters, positioning matters, and yeah, the occasional cinematic slow motion moment where you just blow everything up feels amazing. There's a rhythm to it that makes you feel like an unstoppable force without taking away the tension. You know RoboCop can handle it, but the chaos around you keeps your adrenaline pumping. The world itself is cool in this weird way. Detroit's full of side stuff, from muggings to gang fights, and it all makes the city feel alive. The civilians, the cops, the gangs, it's messy and chaotic, but it works for the theme. You feel like a walking law enforcement nightmare for anyone dumb enough to commit a crime. And the visuals, while not photorealistic, nail that gritty, rainy, urban noir style that makes the world feel alive and dangerous. Story-wise, it hits classic RoboCop beats. Corruption, crime lords, shady corporations, it's all there. And somehow, playing as RoboCop, you actually feel like your choices and actions matter, even if you're just stomping through bad guys and saving civilians. There's a sense of being more than just a machine. You're enforcing law, making the streets safer, and yet you still feel the weight of the city's chaos. Honestly, RoboCop Rogue City is one of those underrated single-player experiences that makes you feel powerful, but also a little nostalgic for the old-school RoboCop films. It's violent, fun, and has enough personality that it doesn't feel like a generic shooter. You walk away feeling like, yeah, I'm RoboCop and Detroit streets are mine. It's chaotic, cinematic, and surprisingly human for a robot story.
They're drugged out of their minds. There's no reasoning with them.
Please just leave. There's no money laundering going on here.